Hello, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another stream. It is Game Week 2, double Game Week 22 deadline stream. We have 2 hours until the Game Week 22 deadline. Today we'll be having a look at my team, the usual bit, answering your questions, talking about the hot topics in the run up to the Game Week 22 deadline. It has of course been 2 weeks. It's been 2 weeks since we had the last FPL deadline. Let me sort out my lighting a little bit. Nothing like doing this while we're live. That's a little bit better. Where was I? Yeah, Game Week 22 deadline. It has been 2 weeks since we have done a deadline stream. It's nice to be back. I do find these the highlight of all the YouTube related things. So yeah, looking forward to this one. Quite a lot to talk about. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions that you guys have. Sorry, I am still messing around with my lighting and then my camera as a result. So I apologize if I'm moving around a lot, but that should be a little bit better. There we go. Let's actually start focusing on the stream a little bit. So yeah, today we're going to talk about quite a lot of different things. I've got transfers to confirm as well, waited right into deadline in case we got any news or anything like that going into the Game Week 22 deadline. And as some of you might see, I have my triple captaincy. Marcus Rashford, triple captain. If you'd have told me the start of this season with the likes of Haaland doing what he did, how good Harry Kane's been, that my triple captaincy would be played on Marcus Rashford, I think I would have told you that you were lying and that you'd take something. But we are here. We are doing this nonetheless. It is a triple captaincy. What is... This light doesn't feel very bright, but anyway. Oh, it looks okay. It looks okay. We'll make do. So yeah, triple captaincy is active. Transfer still to be made. For anyone who hasn't watched my team selection video, I am going to be selling Mo Salah and I am going to be bringing in my top player to buy this game week. Of course, Marcus Rashford would be top if you had him, but it is going to be Bruno Fernandes if you don't. Good. Before we get into the stream, of course, those of you in early, we will do a quick fire round of questions at the very beginning. But before we do that, if you have not already, please make sure you like the stream. Make sure you have subscribed as well. I'm not going to ask loads today because we hit 43,000 subscribers today. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you all so much for joining the channel, for watching, for subscribing, for liking, all of it across the way. It is massively, massively appreciated. But just at the start, if you haven't liked the stream, make sure you do so. Let's try and hit 100 likes. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already as well. And say hello. We'll do our usual round of hellos. And then we will get into a quick fire setup of questions before we get into the usual bits and pieces that we will cover during today's deadline stream. I've got my usual bits, as we always do. Bottle of water, which gets cut out by my green screen. Cup of tea, and today's snack, not sponsored, but if they do fancy sponsoring the stream, we have a Kit Kat. Take a break, take a Kit Kat. Take a break, have a Kit Kat. So that is today's snack, that is today's drinks. Nice to see you all in. Let's say the usual round of hellos. Fella, thank you very much for the first super chat of the stream. Only here to copy Harry's goalkeeper choices. I'm going with Kepa every week. Magic. We'll get into that in just a moment. Take a break. Sorry. Usual rounds of hellos. Thank you for the super chat, fella. To a few weeks. How do I join the Twitch group? Yes, Nate, I was actually looking today and I tried to put a post out. Nate, please drop me a message on Twitter, a DM on Twitter, and I will get you added to it. My DMs are open. Just say, hi, I'm Nate, and send a screenshot of the membership tab and I will get you added. I did try to find you, but YouTube doesn't make it easy to contact people effectively. Cheekster, Godwin, Bentley, Connor, Menstyle, Immortal, Giraffe, Vagard, Shaman, James, ABD, Ivan, Good afternoon to all the members and the moderators in already today. 3 Fox, Disaster, Arif, Pure, Daniel P, Logan Cartwright, Jacob, Hizzo, Radovan, Harry Davies, Mr. Was Up, Rowan, Father Ruben, Plute, Sudir, Disaster, Kenny, Hawkey Boy, Jake, Eric, FPL Elf. How are we all doing? Netsun, Mark, Godfrey. Nice to see you all, you guys in. Thank you all as well. We almost hit 100 likes on the stream. So, yes, let's do the stream. Let me click that. Fine. So yeah, this is my team. Start firing your questions in the chat. Afternoon, Harry. I've had a great week. Thank you. And I'm looking forward to the weekend. This is my team. I am going to do one transfer. It is going to be Mo Salah out. It is going to be Bruno Fernandes in. And I am going to roll the second free transfer this week. What to do with John Stones? For me, like, you don't need to sell him this week, but he is a sell, if that makes sense with John Stones. Yeah, if that makes sense with John Stones. Like, I like myself. Sorry, like myself. I'll be benching John Stones this week and then I will be selling him next week. I don't think you need to sell him this week because a lot of the defenders you might want to bring in are not necessarily fantastic for this week unless you don't have the likes of Luke Shaw, for example. But Stones, bench him this week and play him and then sell him next week. Luke, I'm good. Thank you. Hope you guys are all good as well. Best Cancelo replacements. So, I suppose it depends a little bit on what your plan is for Game Week 25 because a Newcastle defender is still a good investment, but probably not a player that you're looking to buy anymore because of their blank in Game Week 25. If I look around elsewhere, of course, Luke Shaw is probably top of that list. I then move to Arsenal. Now, there are people going for the triple Arsenal attack, but I still back a defender because of the other attackers that we have the ability to get. I do like another Manchester City defender in the likes of Nathan Ake, for example. I think he can still be a good buy for us. Just whether I think he's worth going and buying this week. There are other players, and if you have not watched my team selection video and my chip strategy video, this pick will sound completely ridiculous to you. And that is Tyrone Mings. Tyrone Mings of Aston Villa. Great fixture in Game Week 25, the blank. Great fixture in Game Week 28, the blank as well. So I would also look at him as a really nice option. So for this game week, Dan asks, would I do 1, De Bruyne and Almiron to Bruno and Odegaard, or Kane and Almiron to Nketiah and Bruno? I'd sell Almiron first. I'll be selling him in both. Hang on. Oh, yeah. I'd probably go the Nketiah route because... Oh, no, but... Yeah. Well, yeah, I probably would just about go the Nketiah route there. Did Kane and Andreas to Gnonto and Bruno for -4 this week? Yeah, that's fine transfers. I'm not a massive fan of the Leeds guys, the closer the deadline has got. I was considering going Gnonto myself, and it basically just turned out that I decided not to. London is blue. Thank you very much for the super chat. You didn't leave a comment. Please, either if you're saying London is blue, then fantastic. Love the Chelsea love in there. But if you did want to leave a question, drop it in the chat as well. Aurier or White. Ben White this week. And there's going to be a lot of asks and a lot of questions in the chat saying, should I start Newcastle defender or an Arsenal defender this week? And I'm just about favouring the Arsenal option out of the two. It's quite close between them, but I would just about go for the Arsenal defender out of the two. If you have Miguel Almiron, I think this is a very easy week to use to sell him, if I'm completely honest. Yeah, Reese Abraham with a really, really good question that I think we'll get a lot. So let's do it now. How would I rank the Arsenal attackers in order? Nketiah, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli. So Martinelli's not actually included in the question, and I think that's fair enough that Martinelli goes fourth now. I don't think us Martinelli owners should worry or panic at all about his starting place. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon, particularly because there aren't a load of fixtures for Arsenal. They're not really congested apart from the double in game week 22. Outside of that, I think they're okay in terms of their congestion. Now, then we have Nketiah, then we have Odegaard, and then we have Saka. Now, the first thing to address is probably where Gabriel Jesus is in terms of his potential return to action and to the Arsenal team. He's out training on his own on the grass, just what we've seen on Instagram or on socials, which means he's probably not going to be back until maybe game week 26, 27. But it does just mean when game week 28 comes around, the blank, and you want your triple Arsenal, you might have an issue if you have Nketiah. However, that is a long way away. I still think I put Odegaard first, Nketiah second, Saka third, just because of his price, right? If it was just based off points, Saka would probably be higher up. But if it's based off value, then Saka drops to third. And then we have Martinelli in fourth. That's probably where I'm ranking people. Sarathan, thank you very much for the super chat. Again, you left no message, but please do leave a message in the chat, and I'll do my best to see it and find it. Do I replace Almiron for a -4? So do I replace him with? You have 6.3. If it's not for a double game week player, probably not. But if you have a spare Arsenal slot, but again, 6.3, you can't get to any of them. So no is my answer. If you want to sell Almiron for a -4, like, go for it, but it needs to be an Arsenal midfielder or a Manchester United midfielder probably this week. If not, it's probably not worth it. I still think he's an okay hold. I know a lot of people are going off Almiron. I get it, right? I get people having had enough of Almiron. I haven't. It's one of those weird ones. I actually haven't owned Almiron at all this season, which feels a little bit bizarre, but sorry, wait one sec. Sorry, I don't even know what I'm saying now. Am I going to go Rashford triple? Yeah, so as you can see here, triple captain is active. I'd be very surprised. Unless we get news of like something, I don't know what it would be. I will be keeping that triple captaincy on Marcus Rashford. Already took a -4. I don't mind -4s this week. I think they can set you up good for the next few weeks, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Gnonto season, listen, if you've got an option and you need another player this week, I don't hate it, right? It's just if I bring in Gnonto this week, I have to bench someone here, which seems ridiculous to do. Like, who would you bench in this if you brought in Gnonto? Let me know. Like, would it be Martinelli? Would it be Mahrez? People are benching Kane this week because they've got Leeds players, which just feels crazy. Like, it might pay off. It may well pay off. And if it was away for Spurs, then great. But it being at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, I was going to say White Hart Lane, but it's not White Hart Lane anymore. Being at home for Spurs means I just can't really back the benching of Harry Kane. I think Gnonto starts, right? I'm not doubting whether he gets in the Leeds lineup, but I'm just doubting who I bench in my starting lineup if I was to go and bring him in. Spurs do have a good record as well at home, so like Mahrez or Odegaard, probably Odegaard. But it's just basically like you look at this team and it's who do I bench, right? Who do I bench if I was to bring him in? Triple captain Rashford or triple captain Haaland. So for anyone who watched my chip strategy video, first of all, thank you for the feedback on it. I think it's the best feedback I've ever had on a video. The views were lower, but I'm quite happy with that. If people don't want the information in it, it's probably what I feel is the most useful video I've put out in a while. I know there's a lot of chip strategy stuff, so that's fair enough. You can absorb it from a lot of people in the community, but I do think it was useful, and thank you for the feedback on it. If you haven't watched it, Basically, game week 22, game week 23 are the best weeks to play a triple captain, and I will stand by that. There might be points at the end of the season where someone beats it with a better triple captain, but it's very difficult to predict that at this point. And I think there's this week on Marcus Rashford, and there is next week on Erling Haaland are the two best remaining triple captaincy shouts that we can be going with this season. Oh, sorry, I'm just opening up Twitter on another tab just so we can, in case there's any news or anything that comes in. So yeah, your chip video was fantastic. Thanks, Harry. No worries. Yeah, thank you all to all you guys coming and joining the stream early on. If you haven't already, make sure you've liked the stream and drop any questions you have in the chat. Would I do De Bruyne to Bruno and Martial to Nketiah for a -4, bring KDB back next week? I probably would, because so a lot of people have asked me on Martial what I think with him and what I think is going to happen with him. I think he'll start 1 in the double is currently where I think with it. And I know that's might sound boring, might sound obvious, but that's what I think. I think he'll start 1. So that Nketiah move will set you up better for next week as well. So I would do that. Again, one of the big questions that people are asking this week is, would I do the sideways De Bruyne to Fernandes and then go back? Would I then go back to De Bruyne next week? And I probably would do it if I had 2 free transfers this week. If I only had 1 and it was my only free transfer this week and my only free transfer next week, I don't necessarily think I would do it. But it's quite close. It's quite close, to be honest. So yeah, triple Rashford or Bruno. Like, I'm going to be completely honest, and let me do a poll. Where do I do a poll? Here. I just don't really understand the captaincy or triple captaincy on Fernandes. I personally don't get it. Let me, hang on, I'm just typing my poll. I can't multitask and talk it, and there we go. Let me put that in there. I can't multitask, but there's the poll. I think it should show up in a minute. Yeah, I don't really get the triple captaincy. Sorry, I just froze again. I know people in the chat love when I just stop moving for a minute. I don't really get the triple captaincy on Bruno Fernandes. We saw midweek, like, it's very possible that they score 3 or 4 goals or 2 or 3 goals and Fernandes gets nothing in them. I just don't see that happening with Rashford, which means I just don't think it's worth it. Like, I don't think the risk is worth it. The upside isn't net better with Fernandes over Rashford. I don't really understand it. Interesting that the chat here, I don't know whether it's influenced by, basically none of you are doing anything that isn't Rashford, to be fair. Only 3% of you are triple captaining someone and only 6% are captaining someone who's not Rashford, which is fair enough. I was expecting that. Sorry. I think I might have just lagged there. I think we might have just lagged there. But anyway, apologies. I still need to fix my Wi-Fi. The people are being not very kind in terms of helping me fix my Wi-Fi. But I don't need the TikTok one live. YouTube you guys are much more important. Let me turn that off. It stopped. It comes in like very quick waves. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, the triple captaincy. I can just see, if Manchester United score 3 goals, for me, the chance of Fernandes blanking is higher than that of Rashford. So I'm definitely going to be on Rashford captain. Fernandes will be coming into my team though. Salah to Fernandes is a transfer that I'd be very surprised if I don't do this game week. So back to your questions. Cool. Mitrovic and Almiron to Nketiah and Matoma. Yes, absolutely. The only thing you need to bear in mind is Matoma blanking in game week 25, whether you've got an okay bench to be bringing in a player that does blank in game week 25. Is triple captaincy locked? Unless we get news of unless we get news of an injury or something like that, yes, it's locked in. Fernandes and Saka for Salah and Almiron, 0 cost. Yes, absolutely, I would do that. Would I bench Kane, White, or Botman? You have Trippier. I'd bench Botman. Again, in this Arsenal versus Newcastle debate, I think it would be Botman that does make way in a lot of those debates that you guys are looking at. Should I do Mitro to Tony? Should I do Mitrovic to Tony? Brentford have a... So the reason I wouldn't do that, I know it's great this week, is game week 25, right? Brentford are blanking. There's no Brentford fixture in game week 25, and Fulham have a nice home fixture against Wolves. So although it might pay off this week, I don't think it pays off next week. LT, hey bro, sorry I'm late. What's all right? What's the plan this week? So 1 free transfer, Salah to Fernandes, I think. There was a possibility that I went and brought in Gnonto, but I don't think that is going to be the... I don't think that's going to be the case, to be honest. Hey Harry, Stuart Dallas an option? No, to be honest, I don't like the idea of any Leeds players this week. Like, I just feel we talk about double game week traps, and I feel the Leeds guys are the biggest and most clear option and version of a double game week trap, if I'm completely honest. So it's a no for me. Oscar Focal, how are you doing? Nice to see you in. Jealous of anyone still with their triple captain. Surely he outscores Haaland game week 20 for sure. I mean, I'd hope so. If I wasn't expecting him to or hoping he could, then the triple captaincy wouldn't be active on him. So I am hopeful that he can do something. It's basically needs more than an assist to outscore Haaland, which I think he's very capable of doing given the 2 fixtures he has. The triple captain is active. Yes, the triple captain is active this week. Cool. Guys, if you haven't already, remember, please to drop a like on this stream. Gnonto hat-trick incoming. Yeah, I'd be surprised. I think the 2 defences they're playing against are also, 2 pretty good defences. I'd say Manchester United is highly rated and Forest is probably underrated the way they're playing at the moment. Also, if Navas coming in is likely to start already, again, that's a top quality goalkeeper that they're going to have to be scoring past. So yeah, I quite happy that I'm avoiding Leeds options this week. Of course, I have Greenwood sat on my bench and he has a double, but I'm never gonna start him this week. He's never gonna play both games. He might get sub appearances in both, but even that's not enough to be benching someone in my starting 11 for it. Who should I get for Dean, please? You've got Trippier, Botman, and White. I quite like Tyrone Mings, and again, this is based on chip strategy more than anything, the idea of going and buying Tyrone Mings into your lineup at the moment, but the Aston Villa defence will help you out in the blanks, and they have good fixtures in both of the potential upcoming blanks. So if we have a look, game week 25, Aston Villa away at Everton, very nice fixture there. Game week 28, Aston Villa at home to Bournemouth as well. The other blank... They are away at Brentford. It's not great, but it's okay. Over those 3 games that you'd play them for, it's a pretty nice couple of fixture runs that they have, to be honest. So, yeah. Is Pascal Strike an option for Leeds? Again, please, it's not worth Leeds defenders this week. It's really not. Looking at the 2 fixtures, I'd be surprised if they keep a clean sheet this week. Harry, how are we doing? Should I start Estupinan, Almiron, or Mitrovic? Who do Brighton have? City. Oh, that's not this week. That's 32. Where are we? 22. Brighton, home to Bournemouth. I'd probably go Estupinan there. Mitrovic is not a bad shout. Nor is Almiron. I still think I'd go with Estupinan out of those ones. I think is where where I would be at. So, Martinelli to Odegaard, worth it as your second free. You already have Ake. I'm not sure Martinelli to Odegaard is necessarily worth it this week. Maybe you want to do it ahead of the double, depending on what we see in the Everton game. Maybe Trossard comes on early again. But for this week, I just don't think it's worth putting that transfer a week forward. I think you're best off waiting a week, getting that more information. It's not impossible that Martinelli outscores Odegaard this week as well. I wouldn't be doing that. I think you're best off doing it next week and just waiting and getting information in an extra week. You're going to sell Salah. You have Rashford, so Fernandes and Saka. Or is it worth doing Casemiro and Saka? So I have money in the bank for upcoming doubles. I do Fernandes and Saka. Definitely bet over Casemiro. I think it's worth the extra investment this week, and you can always worry about the other move in potential upcoming weeks as well. But no, Fernandes definitely over Casemiro, because Casemiro you'd probably want to just sell anyway next week. So cool. Where were we? You want to take the risk on triple captain Bruno. You can't bring yourself to do it. I wouldn't do it, right? I wouldn't do it personally. Thanks. No worry, Harry. Again, guys, if you haven't already, we have 2 tiers of membership on the channel. The base tier, which gets you all the benefits on the videos and in the streams, and then the premium tier, which gets you added into the Twitter group chat where I help you with your team sort of one-to-one all throughout the season and all throughout the week, not just when I upload. Let me just getting the price changes up for tonight to see what is cooking and how many people are transferring in some of these highly owned assets, highly sought after assets at the moment. Good filler talk, Harry. Good job. Here we go. Hey, Harry, play Estupinan or Gabriel? Probably Estupinan. Because of the attacking threat. Double Newcastle defence is fine, but they are going to blank in Gameweek 25, so you just need to bear that one in mind if you are going to be bringing in one of their defenders. So, potential price changes tonight. Going up, Fernandes, of course. Mitoma likely to rise again tonight. Odegaard tonight, Nketiah tonight, Saka tonight, Saliba, Ake, Akanji. You can see what people are doing, can't you? They're buying Manchester United assets for the double, and they are buying Arsenal and Man City assets for the double. That is what people are doing this week. Pretty plain and simple. Let me end that poll. Thank you all for those who have voted on it. End poll. 47% of you are saying you're going to triple captain Marcus Rashford this week. Big triple captaincy numbers coming in this week. So yeah, where's Salah? Salah's not dropping, but De Bruyne dropped last night, didn't he? In theory, he's plummeting again. I don't think they'll let him drop again, but yeah, he is going downwards. Tony out for Nketiah in, -4. I wouldn't do that. I'd do it next week for free. Todd Bowley, how are we doing? Kane Almiron to Bruno Gnonto, or should I do Andreas to Saka from -4? Yes, because I think that benefits you long term as well. My common reply on -4s is yes if it benefits your team longer term. That is basically my thought process and my thinking behind whether you should be taking -4s or not. Mount to Odegaard or Saka. I'd probably go Odegaard out of the 2. Mitoma, Almiron or Gnonto. Well, you got to bear in mind that Mitoma, and if I had to start one this week, I'd start Gnonto, and he's the only one who doesn't blank in 25 out of those as well. So he's probably my favourite, although I do like Mitoma, probably just on, as an asset, Mitoma is the best. But this is the point in the season where so much more comes into a decision than just who's the better asset, like chip strategy, blanks and doubles, things like that. Strike to start or Stupinan. To be honest, I'd start as Stupinan. The Leeds defenders, it's so close between them. I still think I would go. Yeah, I just think I'd still go. Thing is, though, if you've got a strike, you probably want to just start him. But I still don't. I'm not sure he's the better asset of the two. But you probably like benching a double game week Leeds defender. It's a bit like, what's the point in starting him? My defense is looking on the ropes, right? Patterson with an injury, John Stones with an injury. I basically have three defenders. They're good defenders, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to play all three of them every week. But I do have a slight issue in defence. I will fix it next week. But if any of them miss out, why am I keeping Salah? I won't be. We have still... we have still quite a lot of time until deadline. Sorry, I was just checking that the stuff in the corners isn't changing. But it is now. We still have an hour and a half until the deadline. We'll be making transfers close to the deadline once we get confirmation, well, not confirmation, but once we know that, nothing else is, we don't get a picture of the Manchester United squad, for example, and someone's not in it. But if you are moving Almiron on a free this week, would I go to preparation for next week, 3 mil in the bank? It would go straight to an Arsenal option if you don't have triple up already. Bench Ake or Botman. Bench Ake for sure this week. Start Mitrovic or Ake. I'd probably start Mitrovic. I do think Spurs score this weekend, which is why even if Stones was fit, he wouldn't be in my starting lineup, to be honest. Start Mitrovic and Gnonto. Saka, Mitrovic, Gnonto start 2. Bench Mitrovic, definitely in that one. What do I get from behind the green screen earlier? So, those of you who are going to think I am a 14-year-old child because of this, I got given it, right? For someone who got it through work. It is horrible. Right? It is like, if it was free, I would not pick it up. I still got half a bottle of it left because it is like... It's hard to describe. It's hard to describe, but it is horrible. Like, I think it's one of the worst... People are actually buying it. People are actually buying this for like 20, 30 quid. I know we're going off topic, but I opened it. I was like, oh, if I got more than one bottle, like, I would have sold it. But it was my first time. I thought, oh, I'll try it. See if the hype about... See about the hype about how much, like, people are saying it's horrible. Like, it's actually... Like, it's not good. If anyone's had it, anyone in the chat knows it. Abdul, come closer. Abdul, go back. It's the ice pop version, and it is not good. It's overhyped. Yeah, great marketing. Oh, for sure. I've never seen hype around a bottled drink in a long time. Sell the half bottle for a tenner. If anyone wants it, try the different flavours. Is this the worst? Because this is horrible. Yeah. Anyway, back to the questions. We'll get the prime out again later, but that's disgusting. Sell the empty bottle. I'm going to fill it up with water. Is Ben White going to start? Yeah, he's still Arsenal's first choice right back. Like, I have no doubt about that. Hi, Harry. Should I keep Mount or consider selling him for free? I definitely sell him for free. I don't even know who's going to start. Chelsea, we've got so many players that I don't even know who's going to play. I think Mount should start, but there's always the chance. I will be going to the game after this, but that one is better frozen and eating like ice cream. Like, Fair enough, but I'm thinking we're at the point where I'm having to freeze my drink to eat it like ice cream because it tastes better is not a good thing. They sell it at West Ham. That's what you need to know. Yeah, they sell it at Arsenal as well. I've got the taste of it now. Good thing I've got a bit of cup of tea left. I feel so old saying that. I'm not. But prepping for Game Week 25, Badis Chile a decent option? I think so, but we haven't seen enough Chelsea games consistently in a run yet for him to still be the one that I want to start. So I still wouldn't necessarily go buying him. Thomas, I'm going to answer this. Sorry, I have seen your message and then I've got distracted like 4 times. You're currently 1.7k in the world. Amazing rank. What about my team? Kepa, Shaw, Trippier, White, De Bruyne, Bruno, Rashford, Matoma, Nketiah, Kane and Haaland. Your team looks great. You're on triple captained Rashford. You could break into the top 1k this week with a team that looks like that. Very, very nice stuff. Ward or Edison. Do not play Danny Ward in any circumstance given the way Leicester are playing at the moment. It is not Danny Ward. Danny Ward is not the answer. Whatever the question is, it's not Danny Ward being the answer. We have no centre mids for this game except Gallagher. So apparently Enzo Fernandez is in the squad, which is a boost. Let's see if he actually is. But I think Enzo Fernandez is going to be in the squad. So. Sorry, Emery, thank you for the super chat. Would I do De Bruyne and Almiron to Bruno and Odegaard for free this week and then do Mahrez and Edison for -4 to get 3 City assets? Yes. I would do that route. I like that. I like Odegaard a lot. I do like the idea of those transfers. I would do them. What do I think about keeping Bruno to Game Week 24 and bringing in Mahrez next week? I wouldn't mind keeping Bruno next week. Like, Leeds is a fixture that he often does well in, right? He does play them twice because he plays them as part of the double and then in Game Week 23 as well. But if you end up keeping Bruno and your Manchester United guys for the Leeds fixture, then that's absolutely fine. I did, however, post on Twitter about potentially selling Luke Shaw because... And I wouldn't do it probably until Game Week 25, right? I'll keep him for this, absolutely fine. Game Week 25 blank, 26 Liverpool away. And people are like, Harry, Liverpool are rubbish. They are rubbish, but it's still Liverpool. And I would still back them to score at Anfield. They've failed to score like once at Anfield in like the past however many years. And that was against Chelsea at the weekend. Southampton at home, good fixture, right? Good fixture, do not get me wrong. 28, likely to blank. 29, I'll probably free hit, but it's Newcastle away in there anyway. So that's quite a decent run where I just don't think they'll score that well. Then it's 30 and 31. Yeah, okay, they might keep a clean sheet in there. And then it's 32, they're likely to blank again because of the cup. And then 33, it's Spurs. So in here, like I'd expect 2 clean sheets out of the 29, which might be a double and a might free hit. So I do think Shaw is expendable, but I think he's a great option this week. You think I missed a super chat? No, from Emre. I did that one. I would do the -4 for Odegaard this week. A few of you asking my thoughts on Chelsea and our transfer window, and yeah, I've been quiet on Twitter about it because, like, to be completely honest, like I don't like it. And you might say, well, Harry, it's not that different to how Abramovich ran the club. But it feels different to me. I feel like this is aimless. To be honest. I just feel like we're signing players who are vaguely hyped for a ridiculous amount of money. To be honest. Like, I just don't understand it. And I don't think it's good for the long-term, possibilities of where we could go. Like, I don't think we made sensible signings at all, is where I'm at with it. But Odegaard or Nketiah? Odegaard is, I think, my number one Arsenal at the moment. Thank you, guys. 900 of you watching. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't already, please make sure you've liked the stream. And subscribe if you are new around here. Thank you all for 43,000 subscribers as well. Appreciate it a lot. But yeah, if you haven't already. And guys, those of you dropping the super chats, I appreciate them even more. But do consider joining as a channel member where you get all the benefits of a single super chat for a whole month effectively. We have 2 tiers, the base tier, which is that, gets you all those benefits of super chats, and then tier 2, which gets you one-to-one help with your team. Would I play Trippier and Botman or sub 1 for Almiron? I'd take out Botman for Almiron. I am a season ticket holder at Chelsea, yes. So this evening, I will, as soon as this stream ends, I have an hour and a half to get to Stamford Bridge for the Chelsea-Fulham game this evening, hoping to see some new signings in action tonight. Would I start Rico Henry or Ben White this week? Probably Ben White. Saka or Nketiah? It could go well, but it could massively flop and end up doing all of them for half their price in a few years. I just don't think like majority of them are worth it. But cool. So yeah, how long have we got? I need to do my transfer at some point. An hour and a half. We've still got plenty of time. But yeah. Do I plan to free hit Game Week 25? No. So again, guys, if you haven't, at some point over the weekend, I do advise watching my chip strategy video. Like, it doesn't need to be watched before the deadline, and it will help massively with a lot of these types of questions. I'm not free hitting in Game Week 25. I think free hitting Game Week 25 is a big waste of that chip. So, yeah. When will Felix be back? Not this game, the following one. How much is a season ticket at Chelsea is not something I'm going to say live on stream to 900 people. Derek, if it was Zinchenko starts, Tierney is benched these days. I agree. I do quite like Zinchenko, but I feel like if I bought him, I would just worry every week that it was Tierney's week. I don't have enough faith every week that it would be Zinchenko. So yeah, I don't. I have no faith in it. So, thoughts on dropping Kane or De Bruyne this week to accommodate Fernandes? I know it's been asked a lot. I just would want to keep Kane. I think their fixtures, like people selling Kane. Look at this. Leicester, West Ham, then Chelsea, great. Then Wolves, Nottingham Forest, Southampton, Everton, Brighton at home, Bournemouth at home. Like, their fixtures are really nice, and Kane will continue to do well, I think. Would I do Doherty to Zinchenko? If I buy an Arsenal defender, like it is Gabriel, I think he's the most nailed on at the moment. So yeah, I would be buying Gabriel. Gabriel, definitely. He's much safer than White. I still think Tomiyasu is lurking. Still think he's lurking. If I have a spare transfer, I may well move it sideways. Same idea goes with Martinelli. I'm not going to do it this week. I'm tempted to do one of them going into the double, just because I feel like the double is with the 3 fixtures in a week that they will have in Game Week 23 and then Game Week 24. I worry that White might not start all 3 of them. Maybe he should though, because if the City game was first, like I'd be concerned. If the City game was the first game, I'd be a little bit concerned about White, which I thought it was. I don't know why I thought that. Because he could play that, be benched, and then play. But this is a week off, right? So he gets a week off, should play Brentford. Presumably he's going to play City. And then Game Week 24 comes is the only concern. But maybe I can deal with that when that time comes around. Am I going to triple captain? Yeah, so that is triple captaincy there on Marcus Rashford. Vice captain is actually quite close. At what point? I would sell Mahrez if you can. So vice captaincy is actually quite close. I am considering putting on Luke Shaw. It's on Luke Shaw at the moment just because Bruno Fernandes isn't in my lineup yet. But with Luke Shaw, I would expect a clean sheet in this double, which 6 plus the other 2 is 8, plus potential bonus points is putting him close to 10. And Fernandes, like we saw the other night, could just not do anything. Like, I think I'll put it on Fernandes, who will be Mo Salah's replacement. Would I? Yeah, I think so. But I do like Luke Shaw this week. I do like Luke Shaw this week. Let me... Yes, to see more of me. Would I start White or Ben Mee? I'd probably go Arsenal. If you've got an Arsenal defender, I wouldn't be benching them against Everton. I think... I think will be a point with Everton where things might not be as open under Sean Dyche as they've been before, both going forward and defensively as well. I think that's how he will be training them the first couple of weeks as well. White or Shaw or Botman on the bench, definitely not Shaw or Botman out of those. Again, the question of... I don't want that. The question of White Botman is something that we're getting asked a lot. I still just about favour the Arsenal guys. I know it's the early kickoff, but just think West Ham might get a goal in that game. But maybe I should go and trust the team that have kept however many clean sheets in however many games. But it would be Botman for me. Do I plan free hit game at 25? I do not. Please don't. Again, watch the chip strategy video. Do not play your free hit before game week 28. You can play it after. It doesn't need to be in game week 28, but that's the earliest. That is the earliest. Yeah, Ivan, can we get to 500 likes on the stream? If we could even get to 300 likes on the stream, that would be fantastic. You legends. And then we can start thinking about making some transfers. We still got quite a while to the deadline though, so no worrying about rushing into these transfers. Again, Manchester United do play tomorrow, but it is at home, so there won't be a travelling squad is the annoying thing. We would have got a travelling squad tonight, but we probably won't end up with one, to be honest. Yeah. Probably won't end up on one. What is... Apparently Chelsea fans are having an applaud after 5 minutes for Jorginho tonight. Neither United game is on TV. Sad times for those. That is sad. That might tell me not to do it. Oh, it's Wednesday night on its own and it's not on telly. Wow. Underrated channel. Big up FPL Harry. I appreciate that. Thoughts on Mahrez instead of De Bruyne next week. So can I keep Bruno until game week 25? Keep Bruno until game week 24, 25. Absolutely fine. I do like him as an option. It's just a blank, which means we'll likely have to sell him. I like the idea of a premium midfielder slot. I do think it's a slot that will move around a lot depending on the doubles, right? Because if we get a Liverpool double, none of those premium mids are performing well enough at the moment, to be honest. Fernandes is okay, but it's not explosive. It's not 10 million's worth. If it was, a normal season, we wouldn't be owning him for his price. Salah is definitely not, and De Bruyne really isn't at the moment either, which makes life quite easy because it actually means that you can move between them depending on who doubles when and who, blanks when. So Fernandes this week, De Bruyne next week. If Salah gets his double in game week 25 or 26, Salah in for De Bruyne. Like, these transfers will make themselves clear. Which is why when I'm seeing teams with no premium midfielder, I don't like it. But then people are like, well, Harry, they're not performing at a high enough level. But that is why. So, no need for a premium mid. Oh, I agree, they're not performing to the level. But it does help with the doubles to be jumping around them, I personally think. Some of you are asking about transfer plans. Let me show you. Going to get up a useful website called FPL.team, which does tend to run a little bit slow on my computer, but we're all good. We're all good. This is a great site because it allows you to show what your team is going to look like next week. So I can go Salah out, and then go and bring in Fernandes, add him in, and then that's what my team looks like this week. And then I can go next week and I will see what my team looks like next week. It's simple, FPL.team. All you have to do is put in your team ID. So this is my team for next game week. Of course, I will have 2 free transfers. I have triple Arsenal and triple Man City. Now, I have 2 options of what I could do here. Of course, Stones is injured, right? So Stones will have to go. Stones could go. And I could just go straight to Nathan Ake and I could go Stones out, Ake in. Like, I could just do that. However, what I am planning is Ake to Tyrone Mings. Again, based off the doubles, based off the blanks that we're going to get for them. That Mings will come in. He won't play. But he's got Everton in 25 and Bournemouth in 28. So 2 good fixtures in the 2 blank weeks. Shaw will start. Fernandes will leave my team with the second free transfer. And Kevin De Bruyne will come in my midfield, who dropped in price last night. Thank you all very much for selling him so I can buy him cheaper. And everyone, if you could, do you want to sell him a little bit more? So hopefully he drops again before the deadline. Or drops tonight. No, he's not going to. He's not going to. So then that'll be my team for next week, which looks quite nice. Triple City attack and then triple Arsenal in there as well. I am tempted. It will leave me the money in the bank to do White to Gabriel for a -4 and just have the peace of mind. And have the peace of mind that it's going to be, I'll have the better scoring Arsenal, the better, most nailed Arsenal defender in there. But do I think it's worth a -4? Probably not. But yeah, that's my team for next week. Then we get back into a single in game week 24 where, like, it's okay. Trippier will start Liverpool. Like, everyone has those defenders. That's fine. Like, the team looks pretty well set up. We've got triple City away at Forest is very nice. Things look really nice for 24. 25 comes around and then that's the blank. And then that's when I have to deal with things. But it depends if Patterson is fit or not. If Patterson's fine to play, then, like, we're fine. Like, Greenwood doesn't get any minutes, but... So, yeah. Why am I off the idea? Sorry, that was me monologuing. I have no idea what's happened in the chat in the past 5 minutes, but I hope that's useful because people like to see more than what I'm doing for just 1 week because it helps to see, like, where my future thinking is going. Because I can just go, I'm going to do this week. And if you say, oh, I don't like that move, Harry, I'm going to do something else. That's fine. But then you need to understand that, like, my one move this week, in my mind, is not one move this week. And again, I spoke about, I think my team selection video this week. My one move this week is part of 5 weeks worth of transfer plans or so down the line, right? So it is planning a long way in advance. Saka or Odegaard this week? Odegaard, start 2, Martinelli, Kane, Matoma. Martial, Kane, Matoma. I might bench Kane in that situation. Yeah, so why am I off the idea of Gnonto? Well, like, Gnonto's great, but it means I'll have to bench someone in this team this week. And it means I'll have to take a -4 next week if I wanted De Bruyne. It just doesn't feel worth it for the way my squad is set up. I don't think Gnonto is a bad buy. I think he's going to start both games for Leeds. I think he's a nice pick. I think he's nice and cheap. It just doesn't fit my transfer plan this week to be going and buying him. Doesn't fit my transfer plan to be going and buying him this week, if I'm completely honest. So where are we? Bench Kane or Tony? I mean, I don't want to bench Tony in that fixture. If you're benching Tony in that fixture, I'm a bit like, we shouldn't be having him in our teams at all. What about Chelsea players? They play 25 and 28. Reece James, maybe. That's also possible. Am I going to go back to Reece James? Am I really going to do it? When I sold him this time, I said I will never do it again this season. Because Chelsea, game week 25, they play Spurs is the only thing. But game week 28, they do have Everton at home. So I might wait to that fixture to go and buy them. But I don't think I really want to go back to Reece James. The guy, I'll watch him tonight. I'll go to the game tonight. And if he starts, he'll be right in front of me. And he'll be terrorising that right hand side. And I'll be like, I need to buy Reece James again. And then I'll do it. And then 2 weeks later, he'll be, oh, Reece James has got another injury. He'll be out again. So, but do I think he'll start tonight? I think he might get, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, actually. I don't know the answer to that. I was going to say yes, but then I was like, if I had Reece James and he didn't have anyone else, I would start him. But triple captain, yeah. Would I choose Kepa over Pope or Pope over Kepa? Probably Pope. Probably Pope. Yeah, just. Also, very small thing. Thank you all. We hit 75k followers on Twitter today. You all the best. You all the best. Should I do double Newcastle defence? Again, they blank in Gameweek 25, right? So this is, again, where we've said a few times, is that buying double Newcastle defence looks great. They look great on paper, but they blank in Gameweek 25. So can you get enough out of them in 22, 23, 24? Yeah, you could, but you probably need 2 out of 3 clean sheets for that to pay off. Kamara's covered KDB. Pep says KDB will get benched against low block teams. Did he? I don't remember Pep saying that. Nuclear, please send it to me on Twitter if that's what he said, because that might affect what I do next week. It doesn't affect what I do this week, but I don't remember seeing that in the press conference or it being, I'm sure it would have been all over Twitter. Do I need Bruno for KDB? You don't need Bruno. Don't do it for a -4, for example. For 2 free transfers, yes, I do it. 1 free transfer becomes a little bit debatable, but I probably would, depending on what the rest of your squad looks like. You have 2 transfers. Who is must-haves? Rashford and Luke Shaw, the 2 must-haves. I don't think Fernandes is must-have, but if you've got 2 free transfers, I think he is. Odegaard or Saka in for Zaha? Odegaard, really struggling to decide. I think I'd go Odegaard. Mr. Freeze. Yes, Pep said that, did he? Someone tag me in it or send it to me on Twitter would be fantastic. I'll pull it up on stream as well. So yeah, do send it across and I will have a look. Thoughts on... Yeah, did you see this? Aubameyang dropped from the Chelsea Champions League squad because they need to register some of these new players. They had to drop 1 player. And they've dropped Aubameyang. I'm all for it, right? I'm all for it, but I was surprised. But yeah, no Aubameyang in the Chelsea Champions League squad. Let me see if... Shah versus White. Again, that's slightly different because I think Shah has attacking threat that Botman doesn't. Trying to see these Pep quotes, but I don't know where it came from. De Bruyne. Does he say he will or he might? I'm just looking, but I can't find it. Yeah, Aubameyang. Aubameyang was a big call. I don't hate it though. Triple captain this week. Yes. Triple captain. It's actually grim. Like the smell of it. Smell, stream. What does it smell like? Whoa. Can I show you? Inside. It's just like a little bit clear. It looks like lemon squash. It looks like lemon squash. And it doesn't taste like it. Would I swap Martinelli for Nketiah? Only for free, but that's 2 free transfers, so no, I probably wouldn't. Save triple captain for Haaland. Like it's this week or next week for me, the 2 weeks you can triple captain. Feel like if you want it on Rashford, yeah, go for it. If you want it on Haaland, then it's next week. The fixtures are difficult next week, I think, though. That's what's doing it. I'm a fixtures guy. I've always been a fixtures person. Fixtures bring form, and Marcus Rashford's already got the form. The Wire guys confirmed it on their stream too. What, the Pep said it, or that Prime tastes disgusting? Triple captain Rashi confirmed. Yeah, I'm pretty certain of it. Would I start Gabriel or Botman in game week 22? Oh, hang on a minute. Need to tell my brother what to do with his team. Oh, God, this boy is useless. He's useless. Start Botman or Mitoma with Trippier. Botman or Mitoma with Trippier. Mitro. Probably Botman. Will Fernandes play both games? Yeah, I think he will. -4 Mitrovic to Nketiah would freeze me out of an Arsenal defender. Yeah, I still probably would do that this week. Am I back? Back. Sorry, all. I'm actually gonna make an angry phone call to BT again tomorrow. Tell them, do you know these? I need to answer FPL questions, and I can't be having my Wi-Fi dropping out like this. Back, fine. Let's go again. Yes, but that drinking not back. Not having any more of that prime. Zoff said Pep told the presser that he needs more bodies up front, and then KDB will be dropped. Oh, if he needs them. He predicted KDB might get dropped against Spurs because of how defensive they play. Fine. Well, I don't have him this week, so that's fine. I don't think he will, though, because I think he was benched against Wolves. Oh, no, he played Wolves. He didn't play Spurs. You're bringing in a Leeds player? No. I think they're the most obvious double game week trap, especially with Rodrigo injured. The only one I would consider is Gnonto, just because of his price, but I think even that is not worth a transfer. If it benefits your team in the upcoming weeks, like blank in 25, then go for it. But yeah. Oh, that tough stuff is actually grim. Let's move it away. I don't want any more of it. Rashford, triple captain. Yes, triple captaincy is active on Rashford. Triple captain is active on Rashford. Triple captain for you, yes. Yep. Bench Mount or Nathan Ake. I'd play Mount over Ake. The City game is interesting. I think both teams scoring it is my prediction at the moment, that I would back, a Man City win with both teams to score. I would be surprised if these things about De Bruyne being on the bench ends up being true. I think De Bruyne will play this one. Pep also said he could play Foden at left back and left wing back today, didn't he? So, and I don't believe a word of that. No, I doubt Foden plays a game at left wing back in his entire career. So, yeah. Pep, we all know what Pep says. He said, Ake is the best, most important player. We cannot play good without him. Proceeded to bench him to Wolves and they win 3-0. Like, this guy. Please sell Almiron for Odegaard or save one free transfer. I'd sell Almiron for free transfer if I had it this week. Fernandes and Akanji in. Fine. I don't think you need to rush Akanji in, but if it's a downgrade to free up money from Cancelo, for example, then that's absolutely fine. So yeah, Fernandes in this week is definitely one of the big priorities. Hi Eddie, how are we doing? You have one free transfer left. You could get Saka for Andreas. Then I have to bench Mitrovic. I probably would if it's for free. I think Saka for free over Mitrovic I would do. I probably would. Yeah. I probably would. Would I do Kane and Almiron to Nketiah and Fernandes? Kane and Almiron to Nketiah. Again, for free. People are... Let's have a look at these sales this week, because... game week transfers out. Kane is 141k transfers out. Is Kane dropping? Because that feels ridiculous amount of transfers out for Harry Kane, if I'm completely honest. I'm surprised so many people are doing it. De Bruyne has 400, almost 500,000 transfers out. Almost 500,000 transfers out. People will just bring him back next week, I think. As well, which means it's 2 transfers that, we have a luxury of having. One sec. Bench 2 of Martinelli, Almiron, Kane. Definitely bench Almiron there. Definitely bench Almiron there. Sorry. I am just trying. So, start 2 of these 3. Burn, Dunk and White. I'll probably bench Dunk. Gabriel or Zinchenko. I just go Gabriel, right? If you're in a position where you're buying an Arsenal defender, I just save yourself the headache further down the line and go with Gabriel, I think. I'm quite nervous about this game week because a triple captain week is a week that you'd hope to get a green arrow in. But so many people are playing their triple captaincy this week that it then makes it quite it's still a difficult week, right? The ownership on Rashford is going to be 230+%, which means I don't actually gain that much for my triple captain, which is I'm fine by. Don't mind that. That's not the reason you necessarily play the chip. But I do hope to get a green arrow. If I get a red arrow the week I'm playing my triple captain, it's a bit of a concern. Now, who has the ability to hurt me? It's these 3 effectively. Tony has a lot of transfers in, is weird. It's Mitoma, Nketiah, Odegaard versus my Saka, Martinelli, effectively. But a red arrow on a triple captain is not something you ever really want to be dealing with, is it? Thank you all for joining. Again, I hope you're having a lovely Friday. Team locked in. No, I'm going to be making one more transfer. If you guys haven't already, we're close to 400 likes on the stream. So if you could just drop a like, that would be fantastic. We also have just 1 hour to go until the FPL deadline for double game week 22. Still got plenty of time, but I will be doing my transfer in not very long. I think I'm going to just get it done. Get it done. Love the content, Harry. Keep up the good work. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I'm glad you guys like it. I enjoy doing it a lot. If you guys didn't enjoy it, I would still do it, but does help that you guys like it. Sorry, Harry, it's Odegaard. It was not Saka. I could go for Andreas and Ben. Yeah, I'd still do Odegaard. Odegaard is top for me for Arsenal attackers. When you include value, Saka's probably up there if you don't include value. If you're just wanting point scoring, then that's fine. But if you do, then Odegaard is definitely top. FPL Wolf, would I do White or Cucurella this week? I'll probably play Ben White. Will Gnonto will keep regular minutes after this game week 22? I do still think so, yes. Not starting Stones, captaining him and vice captaining Rashford as usual. I wouldn't do that with captaincy. I feel like captaincy is too big a risk on the line, but the good old benching of the starting of the player who's injured, etc. So for people who don't know, if you do this, then Shaw will automatically sub in for Stones, for example. And I do it. And some people like it and some people don't. Some people call me childish, but it's good entertainment. So let's take them on for a bit. It's hurting. Where are we? Hi, Holly. How are you? Start White or Mahrez? Mahrez, definitely. Thank you for the super chat. Welcome. Should I sell Almiron? And if so, who for? Again, Arsenal, top of the list. Arsenal midfielders, if you don't have triple up already, feels like the most obvious place to go. We'll start Gabriel or Botman in Gameweek 22. Gabriel, again, the Arsenal defenders, I'm giving the nudge over the Newcastle defenders this week. The clean sheet odds are almost identical for the two of them. But just without Bruno Guimaraes in there, I know Arsenal are away versus Newcastle being at home, so maybe that affects you. But I still think I'm just about backing the Arsenal defence over them this week. Is where I'm at. When do Arsenal play? The early kickoff tomorrow, aren't they? Yeah. Yes, early kickoff tomorrow. So, hi Neo, how are we doing? Nice to see you guys in. I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys have had a good week. Am I keeping Salah? No. No, I'm not keeping Salah. I'm not keeping Salah. No. Mitro to Bamford for -4. No. Leeds players are no. Sorry, I was just checking something. So no. Leeds players I wouldn't be bringing in, let alone for a -4. A few of you have asked in the chat, sorry Janesh, I think you might have asked it and a few others have asked it before, about the Manchester City defence and where I would be investing if it was me. So straight away I would still be going Ake as my number one, as their main left-footed centre-back that they have. So when they play that sort of back three, even when they play a back four, I think he slots in a lot of the time. We did hear from Pep today that it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to play every week. He does need to rotate those defenders, and I think you need to expect that when buying Man City defenders at the moment, but Ake would be number one. I think number two would be Rico Lewis, just based off the money. I still think he's first in the strongest 11 that they have at the moment, and just means he's 3.9, and if he does get benched, then it's much better than a 5 million option being benched. Plus the attacking threat is probably slightly marginally better. But so... I would probably be going Ake number one, Rico Lewis number two. But for me next week, as I said on my transfer planner, Game Week 23, I think I'm going for the triple Manchester City attack. Triple Manchester City attack, which will be selling Fernandes next week and selling John Stones as well for my 2 free transfers to go and get De Bruyne. Nice triple up on Manchester City attack for their double game week. I feel like there's rotation now wherever you look in Manchester City. It's not like you buy the defence because you don't want to risk the rotation. You buy Ederson or Haaland basically for that. But I've spoken my mind on Ederson as an FPL pick enough times over the past years, enough times over the past 2 months since the restart. So I won't go into it, but 5.5 million for Ederson is the biggest no-go in FPL outside of Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold at the moment. For me. Obviously not the biggest, right? Son I'd rather not own, etc., but Robertson as well, but he's up there. Still never paying that much for a defender, for a goalkeeper. Ever. Well, I say that, but actually, I think 2 years ago, I'm cropping off the top of my head, I owned Ederson, and he saved a penalty in Game Week 37 or Game Week 38. I think it was Game Week 38. He was in my team. He saved a penalty, and he got a 15-pointer on the last day of the season, and it gave me a massive green arrow. I moved from 9k to 3.5k in one game week at the end of the season, which is very, very difficult to do with everyone bunching. But yes, how long have we got? 53 minutes to the deadline. Mount, Odegaard or Saka? Mount, Odegaard or Saka. Again, Odegaard is still the number one Arsenal player I'd buy. And again, my reasoning for this might sound a little bit backwards and strange, but let me give it a go again. When Odegaard's not on the pitch, Arsenal are not as good, right? Whereas they can perform well without any of the other attackers. But for me, as soon as Odegaard drops out of that team, they don't look as good. Which means if I own him, it means I know straight away, as soon as my player starts, that they're going to look good. And if my player gets benched in Odegaard, I don't own him. But if my player gets benched, then I know that they're not going to perform as well around him, effectively. So, yeah, I will be looking to get him in for Martinelli if I ever have a spare transfer, which with blanks and double game weeks coming up, it doesn't seem likely. But if I find one, I will do it. I might do it from -4, but I don't think so. Do I think White is still nailed on? I think he'll be okay for the double and this weekend, but I just need to... I think so. What are City's possible opponents in double game week 29? I can tell you that. I can. So the fixtures they have, we don't necessarily know they're doubling game at 29 is the only thing, because they don't have many games to reschedule. It's whoever they play in game week 28. So whoever they play in game week 28 would be added into game week 29. It would be West Ham and Liverpool would be the City doubling game week 29 if they get it. But it doesn't necessarily mean it will go in there. That West Ham fixture could go into game week 34, which means they would only play Liverpool in game week 28, so 29 even. So yeah, start Havertz or De Bruyne. Probably De Bruyne. Am I going to triple captain Rashford? Yes, it is active on him. Happy Friday. Would I keep Kane or Mitrovic? Transfer in target is Nketiah. I'd definitely sell Mitrovic over Kane. Definitely, especially with Mitrovic potentially not being on penalties anymore. So yeah. Start Botman or Almiron, you have Trippier. I still think I'd just about go Almiron there, and maybe that's not right, but I just have a... You know when you sometimes get a hunch that something's going to happen, and that is Newcastle conceding a goal this weekend, and I don't know why, because they're at home and they look great defensively, but part of me thinks that. But then they've got to score for Almiron to get something. So I think I would just about favour the attacker, though, between them. What's my thoughts on Wilson? I hope for Newcastle's sake. But then Isaac went off. I think it was concussion, though. But I just think they're better off with Isaac in the team over Wilson. Just don't think he links the play as well. And I think they've noticed that a few games since the restart. So... I wouldn't be buying Callum Wilson. That is definitely for sure. Because Wilson also is blanking, of course, in game week 25. I don't think he's a good enough option in the next 3 weeks alone to bring in a striker like Wilson who's going to blank in game week 25. So, yeah. Hi, just joined. Wow, you're triple captain Marcus. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, 1 sec on that. First sub, White or Mitrovic, probably White. So yeah, that is it. You get to play a triple captain once every 365 days. And it's going on Marcus Rashford at home to Crystal Palace, at home to Leeds. Who'd have thought in a season, I was like, it's going to be like a movie title, in a land far, far away. In a season where Erling Haaland has done what he's done, who'd have thought that it was going to be Marcus Rashford that took my triple captaincy armband? I'd say I'm 96% certain I'm going to play my triple captain. Again, the only thing that's going to change it is if I see a tweet, anything that even might give me a slight bit of doubt on Marcus Rashford's availability, which there has not been, so no one stress, but which there has not been, so do not stress. Cool. Start Kulusevski or Mitro. Probably Kulu. Start White or Martinelli. Martinelli. Start Kulusevski, Mitro. Yeah. Harry, would I do KDB to Bruno for a -4? No. especially if you're going to want to do it back. That's a -8. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think that Bruno comfortably outscores De Bruyne by 8 points this week for it really to be worth it. So no, I wouldn't be doing it. Solomon Ewins, how are we doing? Start 2 of White, Botman and Matoma. I'd probably bench Botman. Definitely don't bench Matoma, the form that him and Brighton are in. One of the players that I know can do a lot of damage to my rank going into this week. But I'm interested so many people are buying him, given that he's going to blank in Gameweek 25 now. But I'm so focused on the chip strategy that I think maybe I'm over planning a little bit with the likes of those Brighton assets. But you want Mudryk, Harry. We feasting. I hope we get something from him tonight. That Chelsea ground is going to will erupt if we get something from any of the new signings, but I think him in particular, I don't quite know why. Also, if Enzo Fernandez does anything tonight, and if he starts, let's say he scores, I'm excited. We could see a real... Because remember, he's also had 2 weeks with this squad. We haven't played, because we didn't play in either cup competition. So he's had 2 weeks with that squad, which means Mudryk, all those new wingers... defensively as well. Plus, we'll see a return of, Chaël might start. We might also see Loftus-Cheek start. We might see Reece James start. The amount of changes that could take place from when we last played. The amount of changes we could see in that Chelsea team since we last played. I'm excited for tonight. I think it's the first time I've been excited to go and watch us play for a fair few months, to be honest, with the way things have been going. Definitely the only time I've been excited to watch us play since the restart. Is this my lock team? No, I am going to be bringing in Fernandez. I might just pull the trigger on it now, to be honest. But I am just trying to see if there's anything that potentially happens between now and the deadline in terms of, United squad being leaked or anything like that. But I'm pretty certain. I mean, the amount of people that have bought Fernandez, he's going to rise in price again tonight, which is fair enough. And if he does something in the double, he might even get another prize rise. De Bruyne is also plummeting. I mean, he's not going to fall, but... So let's go round transfers in. Almost 1 million transfers in for Fernandez this week. 720,000 transfers in for Luke Shaw as well. Plus, almost similar for Rashford. Those Matoma and Odegaard numbers do scare me, though. That's going to be big transfers in for Mudryk. Interesting. KDB or Wilson? I'd go KDB. I'd go KDB, Connor Hill. Thank you for the super chats. Again, you guys leaving the super chats, massively appreciate them. You didn't leave a comment, so please leave it in the comment section. I will do my best to read it out, see it and read it out. And if you haven't already, for the price of 1 super chat, you get unlimited super chats for a whole month with either of the 2 tiers of memberships that we do, of course, have on the channel as well. Base tier, which gets you all those basically super chat perks on the videos on streams. You get all your questions answered. Plus, for the premium one, I help you with your team all throughout the week. Not just on a stream, and it's the price of a single super chat up there. So if you do want to join, this is the thing people say, "Oh, Harry, I haven't joined because I don't know how." Well, if you go on my channel, there will be a join button. Oh, we hit 43.1k. There is a join button just there. There's a join button there, and you just click that. You get a little video of me speaking and explaining. Does that look like me? I don't know. But then you have the 2 of them there. I don't know if that sound comes through, but anyway. Thank you for the super chat. Sorry, what did it even say? I got distracted. You got Bruno and Nketiah for KDB and Martial. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's quite a popular move combination actually this week. Sell Almiron to March Matoma. Not worried about game week 25, but do you think it's worth it? I wouldn't do Almiron out for a -4, to be honest. No. Atanda, thank you for joining as a channel member. Welcome. Triple captain, Rashford or Haaland next game week. I'm on Rashford, so maybe Rashford. Start Almiron or Dunk. Almiron. Mitro or Dunk. Mitro. Pretty close between them. Is it worth buying Bamford if I have to bench one of... No. I don't... No Leeds players, please. I know Bamford should probably lead the line now for a while, but he is also injury prone, right? Just because another player's injured doesn't mean he can't go and get injured. And we know over the past couple of years how much Patrick Bamford loves getting injured. So yeah, Nketiah over Kane. Nketiah over Kane, yeah, but I don't think it's worth a transfer. I don't think it's worth a transfer. EFL final plans. Yeah, so in terms of my team, like I've got Triple United and I've got 4 blankers plus maybe 5 if you include the player on the bench, but one of them will go next week, which will be 4 blankers, and then I can just sell one more before the blank. I'm in a fine position, I think, for the blank game week. W United's defense over Bruno. I don't personally want to do it, but if it's the way for you to, he doesn't love to get injured, no, but he gets injured quite a lot, is what I mean. I apologise, but I still wouldn't be buying Bamford. So yeah, if it's the only way to go and get in Triple United is the attacker route. Like if you've got Stones and doing that to a United defender is the best move for you, then fine, then that's fine. If I had the choice, I would go Fernandes. I would go Fernandes. I have 2 transfers: Odegaard for Saka, in for Martinelli. Salah out for Fernandes. Odegaard or Saka in for Martinelli. Salah out for Fernandes. Salah to Fernandes is probably the most straightforward transfer. Me, you, anyone playing this game has ever made, and it would just be peak FPL if it's the week that Salah decides to do something. I mean, it is against Wolves, right? He could do, but it would just be peak FPL if he outscores Fernandes this week. But I don't think so. Am I triple captaining? Yes. How long do we have? 39 minutes until the deadline. It's slowly approaching. Slowly approaching. Andreas tomorrow's for -4. No, not this week. Do it for free next week instead. Almiron or me. Probably Almiron. Are you considering triple captaining Rashford? It's active. Triple captain is active. Yeah, it will be played. And would I rather KDB to Bruno or Kane to Nketiah and Martinelli to Bruno? Probably the keeping De Bruyne route. What would I change about FPL? Oh, what a question. Well, not actually loads, actually. I have a lot less issues with the game than I think a lot of people do. I quite like it as it is. The deadline one is always something that I think has the possibility to change. I don't think making it an hour and a half before the deadline has made it any better than it was like an hour before the deadline. If anything, I think it's made it worse. I argue that it should be at the deadline, at the first game, or like after the first team sheet comes out. Personally, but I feel like there isn't as much Rashford triple captain hype this week. Wonder if people who use Haaland, maybe, but upgrade the servers. Yeah, maybe that's what we should do. How long have we got? 37 minutes. Who to bench? Mitrovic or Almiron? Mitrovic. Going forward, 3-5-2 or 3-4-3, which is better. The issue, right? The thing is, I actually 3-5-2 is better for your 3-5-2 is better for your starting 11, but 3-4-3 is better for your bench and your squad structure. And squad structure and bench is important, and it is good to be focusing on that going into the blanks and doubles, because having a full 15-man squad means that like you have the ability. Again, I'm cutting out my head. You have the ability to bench a player with a blank, whereas you might have to sell them if you don't have a good squad structure, which is why I have this issue at the moment with Greenwood. Like, I might sell him before the double with my plan when I get to Gameweek 25. Likely to have 2 free transfers. Greenwood could easily just become... Could easily become Gnonto, for example. And that makes it easier because he's a good option, which is why a lot of people are getting Gnonto, right? They're not necessarily buying him just because they think he's a good option this week. He does help further down the line as well, but I don't think it's worth it in my situation. Option 1, De Bruyne and Martial to Fernandes and Nketiah, or option 2, Rodrigo to Odegaard. You need to sell Rodrigo, so Rodrigo to Odegaard. Like, as much as you might... Well, you could just do Rodrigo to Odegaard next week. Or you probably can't because of Arsenal. I like the first one more, but you need to get rid of Rodrigo. You're struggling to pick who to start out of Kane, Martinelli and Burn. I'd probably bench down Burn. Am I actually triple captaining? I feel like I've been asked it a lot. Like, it is active. Like, it is active and I am playing it. I don't know, like, do people think I'm going to take it off? Do they think I just... Do you guys think I just do clickbait? Is like that what you think of me? How? It's cuts right to the core, that. You think I'm just putting these things on videos and in streams just because... Just for clickbait? Haven't watched me for long enough if you think that's what I'm here for. I'm triple captaining Marcus Rashford. Yes, is the answer. Any early Reece James news? No, we don't have anything yet. But even if he starts, he might not play 60. Would I start White or Mitrovic? White or Mitrovic? Probably White. Yeah, just get to the deadline and then I'll just go like this. Ooh. No one will ever know. I'll hide my screen. And then everyone will be like, oh, did he do it? Did he not? It'll be like before the season where people hide their teams. Aha. You won't know what's happening. When will I make my transfer? Any team leaks? Yeah. No, not yet. Give me 1 sec. Sorry, where were we? Sonny Brown, thoughts on Shaw captain? Not for me. I think he's fine, but I don't think it would be like a better option than going for Rashford, is where I'm at with it. Who would I bring in for Wilson? I'd probably start Wilson this week with Isaac out. I think he should start, so I probably would... I would just keep Wilson. I don't think you need to sell Wilson this week. Anything on Twitter before I make these transfers? What did you guys... I imagine most of you brought in Fernandes. I can't make a poll of it because... well, there'll be too many options. So let me know in the chat, what did you do with your transfers this week? That's why I switched to follow you, for not hiding your team. Oh, I appreciate you switching over. I hope that's not the only reason. No stress, no stress. Don't mind why people watch me. Gracias, my friend. No worries. Am I doing Salah to Fernandes? I am. Salah to Fernandes. Join the almost 1 million people that are going to do this transfer this week. Is it hit 1 million? Total points. No, we want game week transfers in. Yes, over 1 million transfers in. I was like, what's that error? But it's because I hadn't taken Salah out yet. Haven't taken Salah out yet. So, 1 million transfers in for Fernandes. Wow. What am I doing this weekend? I'm going to watch Chelsea Fulham tonight. So as soon as this stream ends, I will be getting on the tube and going and watching Chelsea play. You could do a poll saying, did I bring Fernandes in? Yes or no? I could actually. Yeah, let me do that. While I type, if you haven't already, make sure you've liked, and make sure you have subscribed. Those usual bits and pieces. Did you buy Fernandes this week? A, already owned. B, yes. No. Oh no. Yes. For a -4. A question for you guys, a really random one, and you probably know exactly why I'm going to ask this, but do you guys watch YouTube Shorts? Like, people are starting to do them, as you can probably expect with what YouTube has changed about them in the past week. But I don't really know what I would cover on them. So if you guys have ideas, give me a shout. Hate them? No. Okay, that was a unanimous vote. The first three: rarely, hate them, and no. Cool. Let's see what you guys do with Fernandes. Yes. Okay. Not me. Fine. Good revenue now from them, Harry. Yeah. Well, exactly. But I don't want to. I don't want to just do them for the sake of it. As I've said today, I don't really do anything on YouTube for the sake of it. Whether you guys think I put stuff in thumbnails for the sake of it or not. Who's the better asset just for 1 week, Kane or Martinelli? Probably Martinelli this week. Who's the bench out of Martinelli, Mahrez, March, or Martial? I mean, probably Mahrez or March. You like longer formats personally? Yeah. I mean, longer formats depends what you think. To be honest, mine are not that long. Like 10, 15 minutes generally is not that long. But short team updates or transfers, surely you could do like top 5 players you need this week. Yeah. Yeah, the issue with them is that they do become a little bit clickbaity. But we'll see. Do I use your second free transfer for Almiron to Odegaard, or do I save it for next week? Do I use my second free transfer for Almiron to Odegaard or save it for next week? I do Almiron to Odegaard as your second free this week. Nketiah or Odegaard? Nketiah or Odegaard? I still back Odegaard as my number one. Your videos are great. Thank you very much. I'm not fishing for compliments. I'm genuinely just asking for opinions. I'm not fishing. I'm fishing. Seeing your sense of humour in this stream, legend. Shall I bring the Prime back? Oh. You know, I've got a thing of Bonjela here because I have an ulcer. Again, if you want to sponsor the stream, Prime, Bonjela, Kit Kat, anyone, let me know. That smells rough. That smells worse. Oh. Like, I take a sip every time I go and get it because I'm expecting it to get better. And it doesn't. It gets much worse. It gets much worse. Triple captain Rashford. Yes. Yeah. Triple captain Rashford. Yes. Mitro to Nketiah or roll. I'd probably do Mitro to Nketiah. I would do it. Thoughts on Mitoma? A fine buy, but of course blanks in game at 25. The thing with Brighton is, and I would highly recommend you all listening to the Planet FPL podcast over the weekend on chip strategy. Doesn't need to be listened to before the deadline. You can listen to it over the weekend. Go and listen to it because there is a chance in there. It talks about chip strategy, even better than my own video. I have to say, it's what I listen to. And it does talk about a potential Brighton double quickly after the blank. So maybe buying Matoma is not that much of a bad idea, but you do need to, they do blank. It is Ice Pop. So it's the bottle that looks like that, and it is rough. Like whiskey, maybe an acquired taste. To be honest, I think the only people who have an acquired way to get a sponsorship. Yeah. Ooh, it's lovely. Yeah, true. An acquired taste. The only people with an acquired taste for it are children, apparently. When am I back on the next bench podcast? You're fantastic at that. I'm on. So actually, a note to you guys. I will miss next week's deadline stream. I will do a Friday night stream. It's a Saturday morning deadline. I will do a Friday night stream. I'm going on holiday. I'm going skiing. I know you guys hate it. I go on holiday too much. I get it. Already see the comments coming in. Harry, you go on holiday too much. I get it, right? But I'm going skiing for the first time in about 8 years. And I'm flying on Saturday morning. So I will miss that deadline stream. I will do a Friday night deadline. And then the week I get back, I'm on the Off the Bench podcast again. So I think that's after the aftermath of Gameweek 23. So I'll be going Gameweek 24, I think. Oh no, it'll be going into the blank. Nice, it'll be going into the blank. Fancy. Is there any triple game weeks? No, it's unlikely. The triple game week we had, 2 years ago? Very, very unlikely. Very, very unlikely. Do I think I can take a bunt on Bamford? I don't think it's worth it, personally, but what resort am I going to? I am going to Chamonix, I think. Yeah. I don't book these things. I turn up with my suitcase, as a lot of people do, I'm sure. No, I do. I've skied a lot, actually, so I have had a lot of input in this holiday. Prime sponsored trip. Yeah, exactly. That's it. I'm going to actually, again, I'll answer your question because I know we've only got 25 minutes to the deadline, but I'm going to take my GoPro with me like I did when I went in the summer, and we will be hopefully having some FPL content from the slopes. Ooh, yeah. Any triple game weeks? No, none, unlikely. Chamonix, very posh. Is it? It wasn't very, well, it was quite expensive, but it wasn't more expensive than other places. Triple captain, Rashford, definitely. Not Fernandes, no. What am I going to say in the rank cutoff for having a punt on captain Bruno? I wouldn't. I just wouldn't do it. Like, if you're so far away from getting your desired rank, then maybe. But you just need to still captain the player that you think is going to score the most points, which is still Rashford for me. Right. Make your transfer on top of the hill then. Yeah. Boom. Don't know what that is, but should I play Meslier over Kepa? Yeah, if you've got Meslier, I'd start him. Let's make transfers. Yeah. Game on. Gone triple. Here we go. Am I going to buy Gnonto? No, I'm not. If you want reasoning, again, I explained it all in my previous team selection video. I'm not going to be buying him, so it is going to be Bruno Fernandes in. It is going to be Mo Salah out. It's finally time to sell Mo Salah. It has been a burden on me for many, many, many months having this guy in my team. His weight has carried too much in my mind, and it's finally time to get rid of him. Almiron or Leon Bailey. Probably Bailey. I quite like that Villa attack at the moment. Will I use both your free transfers next week or just one like this week. Next week I'll use both. I might even take a -4 next week. So next week's an exciting one, especially given as I'm missing the deadline because I'll be on a plane. White or Cucurella? I'd probably start Ben White. De Bruyne to Fernandes or Ake to White. De Bruyne to Fernandes. De Bruyne to Fernandes. For me, Bueno or Neco Williams is cheap 3.9. Bueno, he's more nailed. Definitely Bueno. Definitely Bueno. Guys, if you haven't already, right, let's make this transfer. But if you haven't already, make sure you've liked, make sure you're subscribed. Sorry, I've had it on screen for... There we go. Le Bosch. Cool. Bosch. You did De Bruyne to Bruno this week. Yep. Would I do straight back? Yeah, I would. Next week, I would. Should I start Akanji or White? Definitely. Bench your City defenders if you can. I think both teams score in that game. So if you've got Akanji versus anyone or Ake versus anyone, I'd be benching them. If I had to buy a City defender at the moment, it would be Nathan Ake, but I don't necessarily think now this is the week to be going and buying them. Who are 25 likes away from 500? Let's go. White or Burn, Ben White. I still am backing the Arsenal defence slightly over the Newcastle one this week. This is a nice template team. It is. If it wanted to be template, I would do Saka to Odegaard. And then I think it would be the template, pretty much. Or Mahrez, maybe not. Mahrez to De Bruyne. But then a lot of people have sold De Bruyne this week. What's my plans for the future? So I did go through it earlier on. I'm going to do 2 transfers next week. And I'm going to bring in Kevin De Bruyne for Tyrone Mings for Stones and Fernandes, I think. And bench Mings and play Luke Shaw. Play it like that effectively. I think things look very nice next week. So quite happy with how things are shaping up. Again, I just crept into the top 10k this week. I think I'm about 1 point or not even a point inside the top 10k. So I'm hoping for a green arrow because otherwise I'm going to fall back out. If I get a green arrow, it'll be the highest rank I've been all season. I'm practically the same now. Do I own a cat? I don't own a cat. And actually, very sad news. The cat I often look after and help look after passed away this week. So, very sad news. Very sad news. Is my triple captaincy on? It is. It is. Triple captaincy is active. Is there? Yeah. What do I think? Zinchenko is the best. No, I'd go Gabriel if I had to buy one. Am I going to early buy De Bruyne before he rises in price? He won't rise for a while because of how close he's going to be to falling again. Like, he is plummeting towards a fall, which means he needs a lot of transfers in to overdo that and then go towards a rise. He is plummeting before this deadline. Like, I did triple captain, yes. Yeah, so I don't think I have any worry about needing to make early transfers. -4 for Aaron to Odegaard. I just do it this week, and then you have an extra transfer next week. So yeah, I would do that this week. I would do that this week. Again, it's one of those things is people go... people say, oh, Harry, but, you know, if it's a -4. But if you do -4 this week, then you have the free transfer to use next week. Whereas if you don't do it, if you do it for free next week, then you are 2 weeks away from being able to make another transfer. So I would do it this week. De Bruyne is going to be below 50% EO for the first time in quite a while. The fall off of him and Salah at the moment, but I'm quite, again, I don't mind it because, you know, I'm going to be buying him next week and hopefully not that many people go back to him. Or people do, I don't mind, to be honest. Let me put subscriber only mode. You literally have to subscribe for all of 1 second. Thank you very much for the super chats. Again, guys, do consider joining as members. It is you get a month's worth of benefits for the same as one super chat. But you did De Bruyne and Kane to Bruno and Ketty with 2 for transfers. Tended to sell Almiron. Crazy oversight blunder. Should I fix it with a hit right away? Triple captain Rashford. No, I don't mind those transfers, to be honest. I don't hate them. Can you not do Almiron out next week? I do it next week. I wouldn't worry. I don't hate those transfers. If you said you'd done them, naturally I would have been fine. Rashford's EO, I think about 230%. Almiron to Saka or Odegaard. So EO, for anyone wondering, because I know those comments will come in, is basically effective ownership. So if you own a player, you have 100% of the player. If you own and captain him, you effectively have 200% of that player. And if you triple captain, you have 300%. So what EO does is it takes into account not just how highly owned the player is, but also how highly captained he is. So if you have a player and you don't captain him and he has 150% EO, you effectively want him to blank. You don't want him to do anything because the average person has actually captained him and you haven't. Effectively, it tries to put into context. So Rashford is likely to be owned by pretty much everyone, captained by pretty much everyone, and then triple captained by some people, meaning actually if you only captain Rashford, you don't really want him to do anything. Am I triple captaining Rashford? Yes. Triple captain Marcus Rashford is active and Bruno Fernandes has been brought in. Is it worth transferring out Mitrovic or Almiron before tonight to sell before the price change? Again, I probably wouldn't. Like, I know there'll be people who make transfers after the deadline tonight going into Gameweek 23, but still not what I would advise doing. Still not what I would advise doing. Dan Burn or Solly March? Solly March. You need to get Martial. Who do I put in? I wouldn't sell Martial. I think he'll start one of the 2 games, and I'm now very little on this screen. Is that better? Better. I wouldn't sell Martial unless it's to get a different United player in midfield, for example, and you need to free up the slot. So no, I don't think I would do it. Thank you for 500 likes on the stream, guys. Thank you for 43,000 subscribers, and thank you for 75,000 followers. You guys are the best. To say thank you to all of you for all of that support, I will give away the rest of this bottle of disgusting Prime in the chat. Would I bench Mitrovic or White? I'd bench Mitrovic. Keep one of these weeks between Almiron or Salah. If you could keep Salah over Almiron, fine, but it allows you to do. Zubin, thank you for joining as a member. Do drop me a DM on Twitter to get added to the group chat. Harry, my beige hoodie guy, any Chelsea players in soon? Not at the moment. Maybe going into Gameweek 24, we can have a look at them, but probably not. Yeah, Zubin, drop me a message on Twitter. You also have these fantastic emojis. This is the real reason, right? You should join as a member. You get to use these amazing emojis. I might need to change who they are, to be honest, but Prime Salah or Prime Hazard? Prime Hazard, man. That Prime Hazard when he was at Chelsea. Guy was unbelievable. Who would I pick to play, Mitro or Almiron? Probably Almiron. Yes, Badiashile has been left out of the Chelsea Champions League squad, which is quite good, actually, because I think it might mean he's pretty nailed in the Premier League. But we need to see again who starts tonight. If he starts tonight, I think it's a weird decision, but he's obviously going with the centre-backs he's got for the Champions League, so I'm fine with it. But it might mean he's a really good buy for the Premier League because he's not going to be rotated in around the Champions League. I can see Badiashile being quite a popular move over the next couple of weeks. At 5 million for a Chelsea defender, if people want to go there for the blanks, etc. I did triple captain. Triple captain is active. Bench Mitoma or Martinelli. I wouldn't want to do either. I'd rather bench Martinelli though, but I wouldn't want to do either. Is Gnonto good? Gnonto is a fine pick. Like, I like him. I just don't think it's If you've got nothing else to do and you need a starter this week, fine. But I don't think he's necessarily better than, like, if I brought him in, I'd have to bench someone in this team, right? And I don't want to do that. So I don't want to do that. So just one free transfer for me. It was Mo Salah out and it was Bruno Fernandes in. It was then also triple captaincy on Marcus Rashford. De Gea, captain differential, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's not good enough for bonus points or save points. For a realistic answer, no. Playing Nketiah or Kane, very torn. I'd play Nketiah probably. Bench order, you have Andreas Bueno, Luca Dean. Luca Dean's injured, isn't he? So Andreas first, then Bueno. Isn't the Chelsea first team squad like 50 players now? It feels that way. Almiron or Greenwood. Greenwood won't start both. Almiron. What am I going to do with Stones next week? I'm going to sell him and I'm going to buy Tyrone Mings probably. Thanks for the answers. No worries. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for watching for so long. We have 12 minutes left to the deadline. Make sure your teams are in a state you're happy to. Bench one of Kane, Casemiro and Martinelli. Not Casemiro, you've got to play him. He's looked so good. Kane versus Martinelli, it is so 50-50 that call. I've been asked it so many times and I think I've given about 4 different answers throughout the stream to a 2 answer option. I would probably bench, I think Martinelli. Triple captain Fernandes is a differential. It's a no from me just because as we saw midweek, like it's very possible that he plays 90 minutes, they score 3 goals and we get absolutely nothing from Bruno Fernandes. I don't see the same thing from Marcus Rashford. So I'd rather triple captain Haaland next week than Fernandes this week. Will Chelsea get a clean sheet? I'm hoping so, as I've got Kepa in goal, but I'm not that hopeful. Again, who even knows which our starting defenders are going to be? And I think the issue is with Chelsea is we're likely to have Reece James, Chilwell getting minutes, but not necessarily getting the whole match, which means we might see a very big change at some point for those defenders, which means our defence might rotate quite a lot, which is it's not great in terms of solidity for a clean sheet if we're being honest. Where were we? Play Matoma or Kane? Matoma, I can't believe I'm saying bench Kane to some of these, but you can't bench Matoma, the form he's in. Triple captain Rashford. Sorry, yeah. I'm down to 3 defenders in my squad. It's a bit of a concern, but would I play Mitrovic or Nathan Ake? Mitrovic or Ake? Did my stream die like a minute ago? I don't know. Mitrovic or Ake? Mitrovic. Botman or Saliba? Probably Saliba. Moving Kulu to Fernandes. Do I go Mitrovic down to Gnonto or Kane down to Nketiah? Mitrovic to Gnonto. Salah out for Bruno, Andreas out for Odegaard. 2 very good moves. 2 very, very nice moves. Moves that I'm almost jealous of. Ooh, that looks great, doesn't it? You can see the corner of my room. Would I bench Almiron or Darwin? Probably Almiron. No, it's fine. All right. No, it was fine for me. Fine. That's a surprise. Kane or Ivan Toney? I mean, this week, probably Toney, but play Stones and Patterson for Shaw and Trippier. I was like that, but then I don't trust the managers to tell me that they're not fine. So I was just like, oh, we'll leave it like this. You cut the Almiron Salah thing halfway. Who would I keep between the two? Oh, I would keep Salah, but it's what you can do, right? At their price, I think Almiron is a better value pick. But Salah, like if it was a 1 week punt, I'd rather have Salah in my team than Almiron. Transfer in Mahrez for Almiron for a free. Probably, yeah, and it sets you up well for next week. You have to get Martial out because 3 Man United. Who do I get? Gnonto, Nketiah, probably the top 2 that I'd look at the moment. Bench Greenwood or Ake. I'd probably play Greenwood over Ake and just hope you get lucky. Hope you get lucky on it. It could be 2 1-pointers, but like hope he comes on as a sub twice. Like, that's what I would do. I would, if I had Stones starting, like, I would probably play Greenwood over him. Probably. We have 7.5 minutes to go until the FPL deadline. Make sure your teams are in a fit state. Is your triple captain on? It is indeed. It is Marcus Rashford time. It is triple captaincy week. What a week, eh? What a time. Start Solly March or Fabian Schär. March, always the attacker. I think there's a chance James starts, yeah. I don't know who you'd be starting him over. If I had Reece James, I'd probably want to play him, but Sam C345, who tends to get Chelsea team news, has just started a space. So if I see anything on the Chelsea lineup on Twitter, like, I will let you guys know. I don't know if they have it. I don't have my headphones on me either to be able to listen while I'm talking to you guys. Keep Mitrovic. Actually, I don't. Keep Mitrovic. I mean, he's fine. Like, if I could sell him for someone cheaper, fine. But I think he's an easy hold. Why do I keep picking it up to drink it and then smelling it and realising it's absolutely disgusting? Harry has taken a -4 in a double game week. Okay. It's okay. It depends who it's for, but it's fine. I look very small down here. I need to lean forward. Almiron to Matoma or roll. I'd probably roll, just because game week 20, it depends how many blankers you've got in game week 25. If you've got a lot of blankers and that's going to cause you an issue, then roll. If it's not going to cause you an issue, then do it. Chelsea team news incoming. Yeah, we might be getting some. I'm keeping an eye on everything on Twitter that I can. I'm keeping an eye on everything on Twitter that I can, and I think they've started it 6 minutes before the deadline on purpose, but let's see. Dodgers, what's going on? You alright? I'm like I'm on the phone. He just said, shall I break FPL?
I'm the thing, but I'm just going to do it now. I can give you some shocking news. And that news is that Reece James is in the starting 11. Reece James starts.
Reece James starts. Apparently.
Is in the starting 11. Reece James returns to the Chelsea 11. Yeah, Reece James starts. Dodgers, what do you think?
To be honest, I just been in the week. I know
I'm not that surprised. It's an account called, I'm sure you may have seen it, Sam C. This account starts, apparently. If I had him, I'd play him. If I had him, I'd probably play him, but he could easily get half. He could easily come off at half time. Is he triple captaining Rashford? I am triple captaining Rashford. We have 3 minutes till the deadline. So, final quick fire questions. Make sure you've smashed the like button. Make sure you've subscribed. And 3 minutes of rapid fire questions. He is mates with Team News and Ticks. He is correct. Who, me or him? No, him. Kept James since he got injured. I probably would play him. James or Mitro. I play James over Mitro, to be honest. If I have one of a Superman or Martinelli, I'd probably play a Superman. Martinelli, Mahrez, Kane and Yonto. Bench one. Martinelli or Mahrez. Martinelli or Mahrez. Mahrez. Potter said he isn't... Sorry, bench Martinelli, play Mahrez. Potter said he's not ready for 90. Yes, and you will remember last time he got injured, he got injured about 60 minutes in. And I wonder if they'll know that and they might just maybe they'll know that and they'll want to bring him off earlier than he got injured last time. I think that might be playing in the back of their minds today. Tomato sauce in the fridge or out? In the fridge for sure. Along, controversially, with chocolate. Controversial. Greenwood or Mount? Probably Mount. Start James or Mount? Probably James, but Solly March or Kane? Probably Kane. Ross has brought in Bamford. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. Ross, no. Ross, why? The guy loves... that is controversial. Saka or Odegaard? Odegaard. Peanut butter in the fridge? No. Peanut butter not in the fridge. He's actually bought Bamford. Exclusive Enzo Fernandez start from Sam. Sorry, Mitrovic or Martinelli? Martinelli. Triple captain, yes, triple captain is active. Edison or Ward? Edison. White or Silva? Ben White. Triple captain Rashford, yes. White or Mitoma? Mitoma. Cucurella starts, we don't know. We don't know. Odegaard or Mahrez? Odegaard this week. Almiron to Mahrez from -4. No, do it for free next week. Almiron or Ake? Almiron. Almiron or Burn? Almiron. White or Mitro? Probably Ben White. How long have we got? Let me check my team is all fine. We are into the final minute, so please check your team. James or Akanji? James. James. Shah or White? Ben White. Triple captain active. Yes, triple captaincy is active. We are also we're into the final 20 seconds before the deadline. Reece James or Ben White? Reece James, I'd probably play him if I had him now, but I think he might not make 60 minutes. James or Mitrovic? Reece James. Saka or Odegaard? That is going to be the deadline, and I would go for Martin Odegaard. That is going to be the FPL deadline. The game is updating. This is how we locked in. It is triple captain week. Enzo Fernandez starts for Chelsea. Reece James starts for Chelsea. Graham Potter's Blue Army are here to stay. Revolution starts tonight. That joking, guys, I do need to go because I do need to rush off to the Chelsea versus Fulham game this evening. Thank you all, as I know there are many, many streams for you to choose to watch, and the fact that 700 of you are still here watching me all the way up until the FPL deadline does mean the world. Thank you all so much for your support. Good luck in Gameweek 22. We will be back again, of course, with a video on Sunday evening or Monday morning. Sunday evening, I think, with my plans for the next double and anything more. We'll be back with plenty of videos. I'm also on Twitter. Hope to see you all there when Rashford scores his hat-trick as our triple captains. Thank you all so much for your support. Have a fantastic evening. Have a great weekend. Good luck in Game Week 22. And I'll be back again very soon.